Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dude with a Fork. My name is Ken. On today's episode of Ken Cooks Stuff, we are making one pan beef and shells. And when I got this recipe, it wasn't very exciting. And to be honest with you, not very nutritious because it's just meat and pasta. And I thought, well, what if you snuck in all the vegetables and made this into a one-dish meal that has everything in it? So you don't have to get a whole bunch of things out. It's wonderful for those, when you got a bunch of things going on, like, soccer practice and this and that and whatever. You can prep a lot of this ahead of time and then basically just throw it all together and have dinner on the table in about 45 minutes. So very easy to do. Takes ingredients you probably already have in the cupboard. Let's start by looking at those. Let's get started. All right, so to get started with our stovetop one-dish beef and shells, we need a pound of ground beef. This is 81% ground beef. I love it. It's ground beef from beef, so as opposed to from some other kind of animal. I'm going to need half of a bell pepper and a medium onion. This guy's looking kind of runty, but that's okay. I'm going to need a clove of garlic, and of course, adjust these things as you like. And here is a teaspoon of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, and I use seasoned salt, and half a teaspoon of black pepper, and it seems like a lot of black pepper because that's the thing that's on top. The sugar is because we are using both tomato sauce and organic diced tomatoes, and sometimes when you have something with a lot of acid like this, a little bit of sweetness from that sugar will help cut through that acid. And then at the end, we're going to have a can of black beans, which I will drain and rinse. Black beans are the only beans that I drain and rinse. A can of golden sweet corn, which I will drain. I will save the liquid because we're going to add half a cup to cook our pasta, and I'll use some of this because it has good sweet corn flavor. So first thing I need to do is chop these guys up and then get browning. So I will see you at the stove. All right, so our beef is browned up nicely here, and I have drained some of that fat because it was 80-20. So I'm just going to go in with our bell peppers and our onions. And I'm just going to turn that down just a hair because it's going quite a ways. And I'm just going to, I'm forgetting our salt and pepper and sugar. Sprinkle that in there. And I will add the garlic in a little bit because I want to cook these down. And I don't want to worry about the garlic burning. So I will add those just before I add the tomatoes. So see you in a bit. All right, so our onions and peppers have been cooking over medium heat for about 5 minutes just to get them tenderized. I'm going to go in with all of that garlic, and I don't want it to burn at all, so I'm just going to stir it around real quick to get it covered in some of this fat from the beef, because a lot of the garlic flavor is oil soluble, so it comes out better if it's got some oil on it. And then I'm just going to go in with our crushed tomatoes or stewed tomatoes. I forget what I had here. So crushed tomatoes are ideal. These are diced tomatoes. I did not have stewed tomato or crushed tomatoes. So there's our tomato sauce, and I'll rinse that out a little bit and get some of the rest of that out. But I'm just going to stir this in and, just let these cook down. Now, it occurs to me right now that if I wanted to do a Cajun thing, I've already got onions and peppers in here. I could add some celery and then add something very Cajun at the end like okra. And that would be absolutely amazing. But that's not the direction we're going this time, but maybe next time. So I'm going to bring all this up to a simmer here and then just let this cook for a while until these tomatoes break down a little bit. So we will see you then. Oh, look at that. There's a bit of tomato skin in there. I'm definitely going to get that out. So, all right. So it's been about 15 minutes of simmer time here, and it's nice and saucy. And I'm going to go in with our 1 cup of shells. And the key, I'm just going to stir these in. The key to making pasta in a dish like this without having to boil it ahead of time is that pasta, when it cooks, will absorb its approximate weight in water. Now, there's some water coming out of this, but I do want some sauce. So I am going to go and add extra water. When I weighed a cup of this pasta, it turns out that the equivalent weight of water is somewhere between a third and a half of a cup. And of course, pasta will continue to absorb water while this is sitting in the fridge being leftovers. So I'm going to add about half a cup of water. And this is actually the liquid that came out of the corn. So I figured it has lots of flavor. Why waste it? So I'm just going to stir this in. And we are going to let this come back to a simmer and then just keep simmering it, giving it a stir every once in a while until that pasta is tender. And then we are close to done. Back in about 10 minutes. Okay, so these have been cooking for about 10 minutes here. And you can see that those pasta shells have absorbed quite a bit of liquid and puffed up a little bit. They are not quite done, and I'm gonna try to grab one here and cut it. I can't find it. There we go. So I'm just gonna cut it in half with a spoon here, and we will see. It's not. Oops, see, it won't even let me cut it. So, and that's fine. But I am looking at this at 10 minutes to say, hey, does this need some more liquid? And I think it's going to. Depends on how humid things are. It's actually kind of dry out here. So I'm going to go in with my beans right now. And I'm going to go in with my corn right now. And that seems like a lot. And I'm going to add a little bit more water. And that seems like a lot, but remember, this is a one-dish meal, so all the sides are mixed into it. So there we go. So I am going to let this continue to simmer until that pasta is completely done. And I will meet you at the table. All right, so here's our final dish. Now, I do keep a bag of the fancy shredded Parmesan cheese in the freezer, so I threw some of that on top of there. And really, you do need bread and butter with this, and I like a really hearty sourdough or French bread would be great. But I was not thinking ahead, so let's just get in here and get a little bit of everything. And oh my gosh, this looks so good. Mmm. 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 This is so amazing. It's a complete dish. You have your beef, you have your starch from the pasta, you have your vegetables. It's everything in one dish. It's great comfort food. You could go Southwestern and add maybe chili powder and some cumin to it. You could go Italian and add Italian seasoning. Mmm. Oh wow. Mmm. Oh, this is amazing. You could go Cajun, like I was talking about earlier, and add some Cajun seasoning and some okra instead of the corn. Mm. Mm mm mm. Oh, this is so good. Mm. And it's everything. It is everything in one dish. And you see, when you get to the end of it, you're still going to have some of the sauce on the plate. And this is why you need bread, because you can come in here and just clean up your plate. Mm. Mm. Oh. Mm. I'm almost at a loss for words. This is so amazingly good. And I'm trying to remember cost. The meat was a little over $4. The can of corn and the can of beans were 85 cents a piece. Diced tomatoes were about $1. Tomato sauce was about 55 cents. Onion, green pepper, probably about $1.50 or less, $1.25. So you've probably got about $8 into this for 8 servings. So it's really economical. Mm. And it is so tasty. Um, that is utterly amazing. Oh my gosh. It's easy. It's quick. You can do a lot of the prep the night before. You can take care of the beans, take care of the corn, chop your onions, chop your peppers, and just have everything ready to go. In fact, the kids could help you with a lot of that if you trust them with knives or can openers. So, mm, 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 mm. The only thing I think I would do differently is nothing. Oh, it's just so good. It does need a bit of salt because the beans and well the corn was definitely sodium free. Mm, mm, so good though. So if you try this, let me know what you make, how it turns out for you. If you try a spin on this, let me know how that goes for you. This is so good. Oh my gosh. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
And that's it, folks. As always, thank you so much for watching. Links to free printable copies of any recipes here are down below in the show notes. Please like, comment, or if you'd like to see more of this kind of material, subscribe. As always, please stay safe, eat great food, and power to the proletariat. We'll see you next time.